Hey guys, this is Christopher John here. Welcome back to Medical Billing TV. Here in this TV channel, we are discussing about the medical billing industry. I was trying to share the knowledge about what is medical billing industry all about. Here, so far actually in my two videos, we have discussed about the medical billing industry. We have discussed about the revenue cycle management and the medical billing terminologies or medical billing glossary, in which we have discussed about Medicare, Medicaid, CMS, claims, provider, bill amount, allowed amount, paid amount, and contractual adjustment and some other abbreviations as well. I can share you the link about that video, and if you have missed that, so you can go to watch that video and cover up with these all terminologies, which will helpful to you to understand about the medical billing industry. So it is now that a further video is a third video in which we'll go further, because as I told you that we have to cover a huge ground. It's a huge ground in which we have to understand, or we have to cover a lot of things. So guys, here in this video, we'll discuss about a cost sharing tool, in which we'll discuss about the various medical billing terminologies as well, which is so important to understand. We should have an idea about those terminologies. If we don't have an idea about those terminologies, we cannot understand the medical billing. So that is a different tool or different terminology which we have to understand it. So cost sharing tool. To better understand it, like I'll give you an example. I do have an health insurance policy with me. So all the medical health expenses will be covered by my policy, my health insurance, because I do have health insurance policy. If we do have health insurance policy, so we are expecting that all the things will be covered by the health insurance. But like we do have a various kind of plans in health insurance. Like we do have various plans in India. If we do have like if we are going to purchase a new SIM card, we do have lots of plans accordingly our requirement. If we do use more data, we do have the pack. We can have a pack. We can select a package in which we are getting more data. If we used to make a more HD call, we do have an option, or we do have a plan to get that plan in which we are getting more HD calls or the cheapest HD call. If we make local calls, if we make local calls, so we do have an option as well. We can opt the plan in which we can have a cheapest outgoing call for local. If we do communicate with the SMS, we do have an option as well in which we do have a free SMS plan as well. We can go for that plan. So insurance company as well prepare the plans accordingly to the need or the requirement of the member or the subscriber. If I think that I don't require medical treatment frequently, from last 2 years I was never admitted in a hospital or I never visited to the doctor. So why I should go and pay a huge premium to obtain a health insurance policy. So for those subscribers, they do have a cheapest plan as well. Secondly, if I feel that I require frequently treatment from the or frequently medical attention, so I will go for a health insurance plan in which they will cover me as per my requirement. So it could be a higher premium because they are covering more things. It could not possible that if you pay $10 and you can get services of $1 lakh. It is as per the requirement and as per the treatment and as per the plan, what plan you are taking or you are opting. If you think that you require a frequent treatment and you will opt for the lowest premium plan, then you have to pay from your pocket because insurance company will not cover everything in that case. It is a plan. So once if I opt a cheapest plan or a medium plan, so it gives a hike, a cost sharing. A cost sharing is like insurance company supposed to pay on the behalf of you, but what happened that because your plan is cheapest plan or the medium plan, so insurance company wants to share their responsibilities with you. They're supposed to pay on the behalf of you, but now they want to share some portion of that payment from your pocket. So now they are sharing a cost with you. They're supposed to pay, but now they are making you responsible to pay that amount as well from your pocket. If you go for higher plan, then obviously yes, your cost sharing amount will be less or could be $0. Very good. So now here, so far we have understand that what is cost sharing tool. It is a medium by which insurance company making you responsible to pay along with the insurance company a kind of a portion from the allowed amount. The cost sharing tool is a portion of the allowed amount which patient is supposed to pay from his pocket. In case if patient is having other insurance, so patient can put that responsibility to that insurance as well, and they're supposed to pay that amount. So first of all here we can go for first terminology, which is co-pay. So here we are discussing about the first cost sharing tool, which is co-pay. Co-pay is that cost sharing tool which is a portion of the allowed amounts which patient is supposed to pay at every visit to the physician. Whenever patient is going to visit to the physician, to the doctor or to any specialist, he is supposed to pay at every visit from his own pocket, in which we are having a first tool which is called copay. A copay is that cost sharing tool which is a portion of the allowed amount which patient is supposed to pay from his own pocket. It is a predefined amount by the insurance company that he is supposed to pay at every visit to the provider. Something like that. It is already predefined for every facility. So that is the amount which needs to be paid by the patient from the allowed amount. from his own pocket, insurance company will not pay that amount from their allowed amount. For example, if a patient is visiting to the physician, a general physician, and the copay is $20 and the allowed amount is $80, so insurance company will pay $60 because $20 is the predefined copay amount. So patient is supposed to pay that amount from his pocket, and it is the responsibility of doctor to take that amount from the patient. They are not responsible to take that amount. Okay, so that is the copay tool. Alright guys, the next cost sharing tool is co-insurances. In the co-insurances, you know that in which insurance company says that again it is a contract between insurance company and the patient that or the member. This is that I'll cover some percentage of the allowed amount and the rest of the percentage is your responsibility. Now what is that? Oh my god. So here, for example, we bill a claim to insurance company for $100. Insurance company allowed as per the fee schedule $80, but as per the contract between insurance company and a patient, insurance company will pay 80% of the allowed amount, that is $64. The 80% of the allowed amount. 80% of the allowed amount, not with the bill amount, just with the allowed amount. So they will just pay 80% of the allowed amount and the rest of the responsibility will be of patient. So $60 is the responsibility of the patient. They are supposed to pay from their pocket. The copay was a responsibility which patient is supposed to pay from his pocket on each visit to the doctor. But here they are going to pay a fixed percentage of the allowed amount. So this is a different term. Don't be confused on that thing. That is a co-insurances. There is a co-insurance. Co-insurance, it means that it is a portion of the allowed amount in which insurance company is going to pay a fixed percentage of the allowed amount and the rest portion of the allowed amount is the responsibility of the patient. So that is, we have covered here copay, we have covered here co-insurance. Now we'll move to the next terminology. Okay guys, so far we have done with copay and co-insurance. Now the third terminology, which is deductible. Now the deductible is a very interesting term. It's a very interesting cost sharing tool actually, which is applied by the insurance company. Deductible is a predefined amount by the insurance company, which is supposed to pay by the member or the subscriber from his own pocket before insurance company starts to reimburse on the behalf of the patient. Like I can give you example that if the predefined amount is $1,000, that is a deductible amount. As per the contract between patient and the insurance company, the deductible amount is $1,000. So whenever patient goes to or takes the services from doctor, He will pay the bills from his own pocket till he will make it zero $1,000. Or in other words, we can say that insurance company will start to reimburse once the patient satisfies the predefined deductible amount, that is $1,000. Once the patient will met that amount, so by that, after that, insurance company will start to reimburse the medical expenses on the behalf of the patient. So here it means that deductible is the predefined amount by the insurance company which is supposed to pay from the patient from his own pocket before to utilize the services of the insurance company, or before insurance companies start to reimburse on the behalf of the patient for the medical expenses. We can go for an example here to understand better. Example: the annual deductible is $500 as per the patient plan. So patient first satisfies this $500 or the allowed amount of all his medical expenses, not from bill amount, from the allowed amount of the medical expenses as per the insurance company. So what happened that the first provider, a doctor, will bill a claim to insurance company. Insurance company finalize the claim and they will go with their billing guidelines and fee schedule and whether they're supposed to pay the claim or not. Once if they identify that they're supposed to pay, so they will go for with their fee schedule. And as per the fee schedule, if we bill a claim for $1,000 and we're supposed to pay just $219 as per the fee schedule. So because it is under $500, patient, remember, patient never satisfied the deductible yet. It's the first claim which is billed to the insurance company, and the insurance company allowed $290. So now patient is supposed to pay that amount from their pocket. Insurance company will process the claim and they will apply that amount, that allowed amount, as an deductible. Once it is deductible, they indicate to the doctor or to the provider and to the patient as well that we receive a claim for $1,000, we are supposed to pay $290, but because your deductible is outstanding, so that is your responsibility. You are not responsible for that thing. Oh my God. Now patient is supposed to pay because it is as per the contract. When it is as per the contract, it means that the patient and the provider are agreed to accept the deal. So once if it is a deal, so they have to accept it, and they are accepting it and they will pay that amount. So now the remaining amounts out of that $500 is $281. So if the next time insurance company receive a claim and if it is under $281, they will not pay, they will make responsible patient to pay from his pocket. What if they receive a claim and the allowed amount as per their fee schedule is more than $281, so they will deduct that $281 out of the allowed amount and they will pay the rest of the amount from their pocket, and till that they will make responsible $281 to the patient. So here is the deductible is that amount which is annually predefined amount which is defined by the insurance company. It is a contract between insurance company and the patient, and it is a portion of the allowed amount which is supposed to be paid by the patient from his own pocket. Insurance patient needs to satisfy that amount first before insurance company starts to reimburse on the behalf of that patient. So we have covered copay, co-insurance, and deductible. These are the cost sharing tools. Let's move to the next topic. Alright guys, so far we have done with the copay, co-insurance, deductible. Now it's time for out-of-pocket expenses. It is the most confusing terminology actually for the beginners, which may confuse you guys to understand the terminologies, differentiate between other things, other cost sharing tools. So before that, to go with that term, I will just make you understand. I will just make you make a base to make you understand of this thing. Guys, do you remember that we have learned in the last video about the participating and non-participating provider? Participating provider are those providers who are accepting the insurance payment as in full and final. There is an agreement between insurance company and the provider, and those guys who are accepting the payment as in full and final. The non-participating provider are those providers who are not accepting the insurance payment as in full and final payment. They are not in the contract between insurance company. So sometimes happen that as per the plan, the insurance company is supposed to pay a more amount to the non-participating provider than a participating provider. Like if I'm contracted with you, then they will pay to me for one disease or for one treatment or for one services $80. But for the same services, if we are going to non-participating provider, they are supposed to pay $100. So now insurance company is going to be in a loss of $20. If the member will go to the participating provider, they could save $20. But now here, patient is not going there. Patient is not visiting to the participating provider. Instead of that, he is visiting to the non-participating provider who is not contracted with the insurance company, and due to which insurance company is going to be in a loss of $20. So insurance company are too clever now. They have some plans and they will make a plan like if we'll go to the out of network provider, then but insurance company is so clever and they will have come out with this situation to minimize their expenses and their loss and discourage a patient to go out of network provider and encourage to visit to the in-network provider. Oh, they come up with a plan like if you go to the in-network provider, will cover 100% of the allowed amount, or as per our contract. If you have a copay, you pay your copay, I'll cover 100% of the rest of the amount. If you're deductible, you will pay deductible, I'll pay the rest of the amount. If you do have a co-insurance, you'll pay co-insurance, I'll pay the rest of the amount. But if you go to the out-of-network provider, then will you have to pay certain amount first. Like they will just cover 50% of the allowed amount, and 50% is your responsibility, or they'll cover just 60% and the 50% of your responsibility. So there they were covering everything, but now here the the out-of-pocket expenses of a patient is mounting up for a patient. Patient supposed to pay a high amount from his pocket now. So now, why patient will go to visit an out-of-network provider? But in emergency, yes, he can visit, and then it will not apply. It is an exception in that case. So here we are covering about out-of-pocket expenses. Then out-of-pocket expenses, like we'll take an example here. If you bill a claim of $1,000, as per the fee schedule, the allowed amount is $600, and as per the contract, insurance company says that if you go to the out-of-network provider, then you have to participate for 20% of the allowed amount. So here we're trying to understand about the out-of-pocket expenses. This is a situation comes up when patient goes to the out-of-network provider, and if patient is having any contract with insurance company, that if he'll go to the out-of-network provider, then the out-of-pocket expenses will be high. It means that he's supposed to pay a high payment from his own pocket. Insurance company share in a payment will be reduced, and your liability will turn up high. It's a discouraging tool, so that patient will not move to the will not go to the out-of-network doctor. They will go to the listed doctor with that insurance company. So in that case, insurance company predefined our annual out-of-network amount. If you go to the out-of-network provider, then you're supposed to pay, this is your annual amount, $5,000, $500, that is your amount, predefined amount. You're supposed to meet. After that, we'll pay full of your reimbursement, but you're supposed to pay that amount first. So as the name suggests that out-of-pocket expenses, it means that patient supposed to meet those expenses from his own pocket, So here, if patient visits to the out-of-network provider who is not contracted or listed with the insurance company, and still he is visiting to that provider, then what will happen? The doctor, the running physician, is going to bill to the insurance company for $1,000. As per the insurance company fee schedule, they are supposed to allow $600, and as per the contract, the 20% is the out-of-pocket expenses, that is $120. It means that out of that share, patient is supposed to pay $120 from his own pocket, which is increasing his expenses, and by that mean he is sharing the cost with the insurance company because of his own mistake. He is visiting to the out-of-network provider. Here, so now insurance company will pay $400. So now the question. So we'll here following up the previous example in which insurance company applied out-of-pocket expenses of $120. So as per the contract with insurance company and with the patient or with the member, there is a annual out-of-pocket expenses is like $2,000. So what we'll do, member has paid $120 because they are applied as an out-of-pocket expenses. So now the balance will be $80. Once it will turn to zero, they will start to pay 100% of the allowed amount. That they will not pressurize or they will not penalize to the patient for that expenses. So that is the out-of-pocket expenses. So guys, here we have understand about the copay, co-insurance, deductible, out-of-pocket expenses, and these are the terms actually we use to, and these are the terms which we use to as a cost sharing tool which insurance company may adopt as per the plan to make the responsible of patient or member to share along with patient. It depends on the plan, because if we are giving up, like I said to you, if you are paying a higher paid premium, you will enjoy more benefits if you're paying. Okay guys, so you know that we have understand about the out-of-pocket expenses. A low premium, then you will enjoy less benefits than a guy who is paying more premium. Of course, yes, we are here to get the benefits. Even those insurance companies are here to get the revenue. So obviously, yes, they will not here to doing a charity work like Medicare or Medicaid. Okay, so guys, I hope that you enjoyed a lot. I hope that I'm not boring you a lot. And it is my third video, and I'm really getting lots of good response from your side. Thank you very much for your response, and I hope that I'm going to assist you to understand this industry and everything. Please subscribe this channel. It is very easy to subscribe. You can have in a YouTube, you can have a little red button there. You can subscribe from there, so that I can, and even you can go for bell button as well. In the bell button, you can get my more upcoming videos as well. You can have an alert with the upcoming videos, and you can like and share as well. And somewhere, if I'm just my motive is not something else, just to impart the education, that's it. But if you want to share my videos, that is appreciable. Thank you very much for your assistance and your support. Thank you guys. Have a great day.